Hello, and welcome. If you're watching this, there's a high chance you're not sleeping well. Maybe you go to bed tired, but your mind won't stop. Maybe you wake up at night for no clear reason. Or maybe you sleep, but wake up feeling exhausted, and you tell yourself, it's stress. It's normal. Everyone sleeps like this. But here's the truth. This is not normal. It may be common, but it is not normal. Your body is designed to sleep deeply, to recover, to restore energy. And if that's not happening, something is interfering. Not something obvious, not something loud, but something hidden. And that's why most people never fix it, because they are trying to fix sleep instead of understanding what's behind it. The first hidden reason is simple. Your brain never fully slows down. Even when your body is still, your mind is active, thinking, planning, replaying conversations, scrolling through information. And here's the problem. Sleep requires a transition from activity to calm. But if your brain stays stimulated, that transition never happens. You lie in bed, you close your eyes, but inside, you are still awake. Another important detail. It's not just thinking. It's the speed of thinking. Fast, constant, no pauses. This keeps your nervous system activated, and an activated system does not go into deep sleep. So even if you fall asleep, it's light, unstable, easy to interrupt. The second reason is physical. Your body doesn't recognize that it's time to sleep, because sleep is not just a decision. It's a signal, a biological signal, and that signal depends on rhythm, light, timing, environment. But modern life breaks this. Screens at night, bright artificial light, irregular sleep times, late activity, and all of this confuses your system. Your body doesn't know, is it night or still day? And when signals are unclear, sleep becomes unstable. Another important point. Your body needs repetition. Going to sleep at different times every day breaks that rhythm. And without rhythm, there is no deep recovery. The third reason is something most people don't notice. Your body is stuck in tension, not obvious tension, not pain, but a constant internal tightness. Muscles slightly contracted, breathing shallow, body never fully relaxed. And this matters, because sleep requires release, letting go, dropping tension. But if your body doesn't let go, it cannot enter deep rest. Even if you are lying still, even if your eyes are closed, inside, there is still activation, and that keeps the system alert. Another important detail, this tension builds slowly, from stress, from posture, from long periods of sitting, from mental load, and over time, it becomes your normal state. You stop noticing it, but your body still feels it, and at night, it doesn't fully release. That's why you wake up. That's why you shift in bed, because your system is not in true rest. The fourth reason is deeper. Hormonal rhythm. Sleep is controlled by timing signals. Your body follows a cycle. Day, activation, night, recovery. And two main hormones control this, melatonin and cortisol. Melatonin helps you sleep. Cortisol keeps you awake. But in many people, this rhythm is reversed. Melatonin is low at night. Cortisol stays elevated, and this creates a conflict. Your body is tired, but your system is alert. You want to sleep, but something keeps you awake. Another important point. Light affects hormones directly. Bright light at night suppresses melatonin, especially screens, phones, tablets, TV, and this delays sleep, or makes it lighter. Another hidden factor. Late eating, heavy meals at night. This activates the body, instead of calming it. So even if you go to bed, your system is still on. Many people try to fix sleep. They go to bed earlier, they try to relax, they change small things, but nothing works, and they get frustrated because sleep feels simple, but it's not. Sleep is not one thing. It's the result of multiple systems working together: nervous system, hormones, environment, rhythm. And if one of these is off, sleep suffers. Another mistake, trying to fix sleep only at night. But sleep doesn't start at night. It starts during the day, with how you live, how you think, how you handle stress. And until that changes, sleep remains unstable. Most people make one critical mistake. They treat sleep as something that begins at night. But sleep doesn't start when you go to bed. It starts much earlier, during your day. From the moment you wake up, every action you take either prepares your body for sleep or moves it away from it. If your entire day is fast, stimulating, filled with constant input, your brain adapts to that state. It stays alert, it stays active, and when night comes, it doesn't switch off, because your system has been trained to stay on. Another important detail, your brain needs contrast. Day, activity, night, calm. But most people remove that contrast. They stay active until the last moment. Screens, work, information, thinking. And then suddenly, they expect sleep. But the body doesn't work like a switch. It works like a transition. And without transition, there is no deep sleep. This is why many people feel, I'm tired, but I can't sleep. Because fatigue is not the same as readiness. You can be exhausted, but still activated. And that state blocks sleep. You don't fix sleep directly. You calm the system that creates sleep, and that requires specific signals, not random actions. The first signal is breathing. Slow, deep, controlled. Because breathing is directly connected to your nervous system. Fast breathing, activation. Slow breathing, relaxation. And when you slow your breath, your body receives a message. You are safe. And safety is the foundation of sleep. The second signal is reduction, reducing stimulation, reducing input, reducing noise, because your brain processes everything, and the more it processes, the more active it stays. Another key factor is light. Light tells your brain what time it is. Bright light in day, dim light in your night. If you use strong light at night, your brain stays in day mode. And sleep becomes shallow. Another important element, routine. Repeating the same actions before sleep, not occasionally, but every day. Because repetition creates association, and association creates automatic response. Your body learns, this means sleep. And when that happens, sleep becomes easier. When you begin to apply these things, something shifts. Not instantly, but noticeably. At first, you fall asleep a bit easier. Then, you wake up less often. Then, your sleep becomes deeper. But the biggest change is in how you wake up. You feel different. Not just not tired, but more stable, more clear, more present. And this is where most people are surprised, because they forgot what real rest feels like. They got used to low-quality sleep. So when real recovery appears, it feels unusual. Another important change. Your energy during the day improves. Not dramatically at first, but steadily. And this reinforces the process. Better sleep, better day, easier sleep. And now the system works in your favor, instead of against you. Most people think poor sleep only affects how tired they feel. But the real cost is much bigger. Sleep affects everything. Your thinking, your reactions, your mood, your decisions. And when sleep is poor, all of this changes. Slowly, quietly. You don't think as clearly. You hesitate more. You react emotionally. You feel less stable. And the worst part is this. You don't notice the change, because it happens gradually, day after day, until it becomes your normal. Another important effect, your stress tolerance drops. Things that didn't bother you before start to feel heavier, more difficult, more overwhelming. And this creates more tension, which makes sleep worse. And the cycle continues. Sleep, stress, worse sleep, more stress. And many people live in this loop for years, thinking it's just life. But it's not life. It's a system that lost balance. This is one of the most confusing experiences. At night, you feel awake. Your mind is active. Your thoughts are clear. But during the day, you feel tired, slow, drained. And this feels backwards. But there is a reason. Your rhythm is disrupted. Your body's internal clock is out of sync. It doesn't know when to activate and when to rest. So activation happens at the wrong time. And recovery doesn't happen when it should. Another important detail: light exposure. If you get little natural light during the day and a lot of artificial light at night, your brain gets confused. It shifts your internal clock, and now your system works against you. Also, mental stimulation at night. Thinking, planning, processing, all of this signals activation. So your brain becomes sharp, exactly when you want it to slow down. And the result is simple. You are awake when you should sleep, and tired when you should be active. There is always a point where things can begin to improve. Not a big moment, not dramatic, but real. A small shift. You start noticing patterns. You start understanding your body. You stop ignoring signals. And this is where change begins. Not with a perfect routine, not with a big decision, but with awareness. Because awareness changes behavior, and behavior changes the system. Another important point: you don't need to fix everything at once. You need to start somewhere. One change, repeated, then another. And over time, the system adapts. Sleep improves, energy stabilizes, and the cycle reverses. From bad sleep, worse days, to better days, deeper sleep. There comes a moment when you realize something important. It was never just about sleep. It was about how your body lives, how it handles stress, how it recovers, how it balances itself. Sleep was only the signal, the visible part, the part you noticed. But behind it, there was a system asking for change. And once you understand this, you stop fighting sleep and start understanding your body. Your body was never the problem. It was trying to help you, trying to adapt, trying to keep you functioning, even under pressure, even under stress, even with overload. It adjusted, it compensated, it kept you going. But poor sleep was the signal that something was reaching its limit. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but clearly. And that signal matters because it appears early, before bigger problems, before stronger symptoms, when change is still easy. There is a difference most people don't notice: surviving the night and recovering from it. You can sleep, but not recover. You can rest, but not restore. And over time, this creates a gap between how you live and how you could feel. Less energy, less clarity, less stability. And that gap grows slowly until one day you realize you're just getting through the day instead of feeling fully present in it. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need extreme changes. You don't need a crisis. The change starts earlier, in small things, repeated daily, because your body learns patterns and follows them. And the truth is simple. Better sleep is not something you force. It's something you create, step by step. And sometimes, the difference between another restless night and deep, restoring sleep is not something big. It's something small that you finally started doing consistently.